Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Marley and I have been up here camping for the past couple days. I've been filming for a few projects and we just got back. We were doing a little bit of ground squirrel hunting today. We got some nice weather. I think it was in the high 70s today. We had a little bit of wind. So we just took a little hike, did some ground squirrel hunting. We got a couple of them. But it was a beautiful day. We're going to be here for another day. I figured I'd bring you guys with us and we'll just do a little bit of camping here. We'll do some cooking, we'll hang out. I've got to get some wood for later so we can have a fire, and I've got the stove set up, and I decided to bring the bell tent because I was going to be here for a couple days, and so figured, hey, why not be comfortable? So we got this tent set up pretty nice. I got the stove in here, I got the inflatable bed, I got a table, chair, all my cooking stuff. I actually do have a refrigerator in here as well that's running off of my solar bank, and it's really comfortable. Definitely nice having all the space, you know, especially at night when it's cold and you can just kind of hang out in here. And it's not as cramped as my other tents. It obviously does take a little more effort to put up and take down, but you know, while you're here, you know, why not be comfortable? And it did get fairly cold last night. I'm kind of expecting the same, but we're gonna head out, we're gonna get some firewood, we'll get a fire started. I've kept it really simple as far as cooking. You know, I was going to be up here for a couple days, and so I just really didn't feel like going nuts with cooking. I brought simple stuff like hot dogs and sandwich meat and that sort of thing. So I'm going to pull a few things out, and I'll bring you guys with me, and we'll go get some firewood. So for this trip, I went ahead and brought an electric chainsaw. This is 24 volt. Made by Greenworks, and this is about the 4th or 5th time I've used it. Definitely convenient, being electric, you know, full charge. I'm able to cut quite a bit of firewood with this thing. It's got the 10-inch blade, and so I'm able to get through some pretty good sized limbs with this, which is definitely nice for cutting, you know, a ton of wood for that stove I have in the tent. And I like it because it's pretty quiet too. It's a little more low impact. You know, when we're out here, you know, it gets pretty loud with a chainsaw. I've brought chainsaws before. And then on top of that, you got to bring fuel, oil, all that stuff. Takes up space, and so this has worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. And I think for a big tent like I brought, you know, with a stove, I think having an electric chainsaw, it's definitely the way to go. It makes collecting wood a whole lot easier. we're going to get a fire started. It is starting to get fairly cold, and I want to get some coals in here and be able to burn some of these bigger logs that I cut. I brought with me for this trip a product by Bigfoot Bushcraft. These are fire plugs. They're fire starting material. I've never used them before, but I do carry a lot of different fire starting material with me. I carry lint, I carry sawdust that has wax on it, and it's always good to carry something like this. I think a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, you got a lighter and this and that. Chances are, if that's your attitude, you've never had to start a fire when everything is wet. And so having something like this is definitely helpful in those situations. And, you know, in situations like this where we do have dry wood, it just makes getting a fire started a lot easier. There we go. So the thing that's nice about this stuff is, you know, it'll take a spark, but on top of that, it'll burn for, you know, a lot longer than, you know, a piece of wood or cotton or anything like that. So that's the nice thing, is it gives you a little bit of time. You know, it's going to burn for, you know, a good couple minutes, and that's going to put enough fire in here to get some small stuff started. And like I said, things like this come in handy when everything is wet. You know, maybe not so much in summer, but definitely during winter, I've needed to use stuff like that to get a fire started, because everything is just so wet. It's near impossible to get a fire started. But I'm pretty happy with this stuff.
Is that good? It's yummy.
A lot of times when I'm out here, I simply just don't feel like cooking anything extravagant. And so for tonight, we're just going to have hot dogs, and I brought some buns, some cheese, and we're just going to keep it simple. But I'm going to cook these, and I'll bring you guys back in a minute. About as simple as you can make it. Just some hot dogs, cheese, and ketchup. I actually would have rather had mustard, but I couldn't find it at the store. They didn't have any mustard, but it should be good. Perfect. Buns are nice and crispy. Hey, cheers you guys. As you can see, it's pretty cozy in here. This is definitely a nice setup. You know, for Marley and I, this is like a castle. You know, I got everything in here. I got my refrigerator, I got my stove, I got the wood burning stove here. It's about 40 something degrees outside, and it is 63 degrees in here. And I just stoked this up, so it's going to get much hotter. Nice hanging out here, don't need a jacket. We got an inflatable bed. Yeah, this is the real deal right here. It's definitely glamping status. Yeah, things are good. We had a lot of fun today. I knocked out a bunch of little projects that I had as far as videos. I've been working on a few reviews, one of which is of this tent, which I guess you guys will probably see on the channel pretty soon. My wife and I just celebrated our year anniversary. Although we have been together for years, you know, it was nice to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. She really is just an amazing woman. I'm so lucky. You know, we've got a beautiful 6-month-old little girl. We've been having a lot of fun. You know, it's been a little stressful, to be honest with you guys. Really trying to juggle being able to get out here. It's not easy on my wife. You know, when I leave and have to be gone for a couple days, you know, that's a lot of weight on her to take care of a little kid. A lot of getting up and down at night, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate to it. And so it's been a big adjustment for us. It's been a big adjustment for Marley. But yeah, we've been having fun. The channel just hit 12,000 subs, so I'm real excited about that. And you know, you guys have really helped with that. Sharing our content, which is probably the best thing that you guys can do to help the channel, is to share it. You guys have donated, you guys leave comments, and I really appreciate the support. It really kind of keeps me going and keeps me motivated to keep coming out here and doing this stuff. Airguns of Arizona has been behind me 110% of the way. I really am grateful that I found a company that was willing to be so gracious with, you know, helping me with these videos and with products to be able to review for you guys. We got a couple new sponsors to the channel that I'm going to be introducing you guys to pretty soon. A few awesome new products that I'm real excited to get out in the field and be able to test out for you guys. And it's going to be good. I knew this was going to be an awesome year, and it's already kind of turned into that. It's almost springtime. We got a couple new permissions. One of them is a really neat place, and I'm real excited to get out there and be able to do some filming. Should make for some really awesome hunting content. And so we've got that planned. Probably in the next couple weeks, maybe a month. I'm just waiting on a few things that I want to be able to use on that permission. As far as this tent goes, this is like a castle for Marley and I. We got our refrigerator, we got the table, our stove, I got the wood burning stove, plenty of room for wood, I got an inflatable bed. Lights, solar charger, you know, pretty much everything we need, and then some. And I was able to get all this in my Jeep, and so I'm pretty excited about being able to use this tent more. When it warms up, I'm going to be bringing my family with me, and we're going to be doing some extended stay trips, and I'll be able to bring you guys all kinds of different videos I've been kind of thinking about that I just haven't had time for. But things are good. I think we're going to get up in the morning. I've got a few things that I got to work on. I got a little bit of work left tonight before I get to bed. Marley is cacked out, and I think tomorrow we're going to do a little bit of hunting. At the very least, we'll do some shooting. But it should be a beautiful day. Probably as hot as it was today. I think today was almost 80 degrees, so it was quite warm. But we're still in spring because we still got the cold nights. Usually when summer comes, you know, the coldest it'll get at night is, you know, about 60. Cheers to you guys. I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the morning. Marley and I are just up on this hill. You guys can hear how windy it is. And I do see squirrels. Most of the holes are between 50 and 85 yards. And so I'm hoping that we can sit up here, and being up a little higher, it really gives you a better vantage point to be able to look down into the holes, because a lot of times when you're on flat ground, you just cannot see the ground squirrels unless they're practically standing up, and so it can get frustrating. And so that's why for a lot of areas I always like to try and get up a little higher. Over the next few hours, Marley and I roamed this large permission where I was able to spot quite a few ground squirrels. Unfortunately, the wind was making it really difficult to not only take some shots, but to capture everything with my camera. The sound was really bad, and ultimately after taking a couple ground squirrels, I decided that we'd head back to camp and start packing up. I really appreciate you guys coming along. I hope you enjoyed the footage, and I really look forward to bringing you guys some more content really soon. Thanks for watching.